and that'll get you an extra entry, but you get one for even coming on out and seeing me. Poplar and Perkins, Edwin Watts Golf, giving tickets away on Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, WIVG FM Tunica Memphis, and WPGFLP Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now, back to Sports 56 Middays presented by FedEx.
Here once again,
Our Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everybody. 12:01 the time. Final hour for us today here on Sports 56 Middays, the Tuesday, July 23rd, 2019 edition. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Austin Eldridge. We are in the Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. Sports 56 Middays is delivered each and every day by our title and presenting sponsor, FedEx. Visit FedEx.com/e-commerce to see how FedEx can help you start, grow, and efficiently manage your business. So happy to have FedEx aboard. And, of course, we'll be out at TPC Southwind tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday. And FedEx, very prevalent, not only with us, with this city, this country, and with this PGA Tour, as tomorrow will be the practice rounds, and then Thursday, round one of the WGC FedEx St. Jude Invitational. Before we bring on Don Wade for the dish, Billy Horschel, another one of the fine golfers in the field, just tweeting out, just landed in Memphis, always excited to come back, even more so this year with the event being a WGC now. The people of Memphis, FedEx, and everyone associated with the event will show the players and the world why this was an underrated event for far too long. Well said, Billy Horschel.
That's good. Yeah, I mean, this golf course has shown ever since they redid it. I mean, it is one of the best tests on course. It leads by a mile in balls hit in the water. It's not even close any other course. I mean, it's a tough golf course, and if they can get it, if it does dry out, get firm, especially if they end up getting a little bit of wind as well, this is no picnic for these guys.
And yet, last year, Dustin Johnson was able to scorch TPC Southwind for what, 19 under par?
I don't remember what the final number was. Yeah, I mean, last year the conditions were perfect for scoring. They didn't get much wind. It was cooler. The course was soft. I mean, last year was probably as good a scoring conditions as they could get. Again, you have to remember, these guys, all of these players now are just so freaking good because they just hit it so far. I mean, it just is, so at a course like this where you got to hit fairway. I mean, they don't have to hit drivers. Like when you can step up to a tee and hit an iron 260, 270. I mean, it's just they're playing a different game than the rest of us play.
Are the same people making baseballs making golf balls?
I mean, it's the technology of the ball is so good. The technology of the clubs is so good. And these guys are just, I mean, Dustin Johnson doesn't look like your golfer of the 1970s. These guys are, Brooks Koepka. You didn't have guys like that.
No.
In those days. I mean, these guys work out. I mean, they're like freak athletes who work out constantly. Tiger changed that part of the game too. Like everything about the game, Tiger changed so much about the type of player and what the players do as far as training and everything else is concerned.
And because they hit it so far, they had to move the driving range back, and you'll see the difference if you head out to TP Southwind, where they're now hitting from. Not that they weren't doing it in the past few years, but there were only so many Dustin Johnsons in the field. Now they're all Dustin Johnsons pretty much as far as being able to cream the ball. Look at the majors this year, and look at the winners you had on the majors, or with the majors. Now, Tiger Woods still hits the ball very, very far. Tiger Woods wins the Masters. Then you had the PGA with Brooks Koepka, who hits it a mile, Gary Woodland, the U.S. Open, who hits it a mile, and Shane Lowry, the Open Championship, who hits it a mile. These are all big-time bombers.
And Shane Lowry would not fit the mold of the sculpted athlete that the other three
No, he would not. But he still looks like he looks like an offensive lineman.
That's the great thing about golf, though. Even you do not have to be the sculpted physical specimen to be able to still be really good at the sport. I mean, they still come in all different shapes and sizes. You just see a lot more of the Dustin Johnson, Brooks Koepka, Tiger Woods, those types of guys playing than you did back in the day when there was a lot more Shane Lowry builds than you saw any of those other guys.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're right that Tiger changed the mindset of a lot of golfers out there that wanted to be more physically fit, and in some cases physical specimens, that they thought that would help their game. Then nutrition, all that stuff came into play. But again, the equipment, I think, is a big, big difference maker in why they hit the ball the way they do. It dumbfounds me when I hear the announcer say, he's got 230 and he's got a 7-iron or something. Wait, no. That can't be. Or just, well, then you got to take into consideration watching the Open Championship when they were downwind. What was the hole late in the round where it was a par 3, and I think, who was Lowry playing with? He was playing on Sunday. He was playing with... it wasn't JB.
He was with Fleetwood, wasn't he? I don't
He was with Fleetwood. You're right. He was with Fleetwood. Fleetwood on I forget the distance, but it was a long par 3. He pulls out a pitching wedge, and he hits it over. And they said, I don't know what Shane Lowry's going to do here. I don't know what he possibly can do. So, it's a whole different ball game. Whole different ball game that these guys play. And for us, for just the fans out there, I mean, Jack Nicklaus and Arnold Palmer and all those guys played a different game that we're not familiar with. Well, these guys absolutely play a different game that we're not familiar with because of just the length that they hit the ball.
Again, last week when they had the little event out there and I hit the shot that Dustin Johnson hit last year, I mean, I hit 5-iron, maybe could have hit 6. He hits 9-iron. And I don't care, like, if you're hitting 9-irons versus 5 and 6 irons, you're going to be a lot more accurate. It just is a lot easier to hit a 9-iron than it is a 5 or 6 iron. So, I mean, it's hard for them on a par 4 to be hitting anything more than a 7 or 8 iron into a green.
Yeah.
I mean, even if they hit iron off teeth, like 440-yard par 4s, they can hit iron off the tee and like 8 or 9 iron into the green. Like it's a weird, different world that they play.
Go to the First Bank phone line. Still waiting on Don Wade. Marco has dialed in at 360-8255. Marco, how are you?
Hey guys, how are you guys?
Doing great,
man.
Thank you.
Hey man, thanks for taking my call. First of all,
sure.
Hey man, so I listen to you guys talk about golf all the time, and I start to question whether it's really a sport, man. And I say that because typically in a sport, you take the big three, baseball, football, basketball. It really requires athleticism and skill. And I think that golf really is a game of skill more so than athleticism. So I just want to get you guys' take on that and really and kind of start a conversation here. I'm not sure it really requires a lot of athleticism. It's more skill and precision than anything else.
All right, Marco, appreciate the phone call. Thanks for listening as well. Eli, you want to tackle this first?
Well, again, this is the age-old question of how do you define a sport? I mean, what requirements are there to make something a sport?
Well, let me give you the definition first of all. Here's the Webster's dictionary definition. Definition of sport: an activity involving physical exertion and skill in which an individual or team competes against another or others for entertainment. That's a sport. You may not be exerting too much physically. You're not doing what a basketball player is doing or a lot of other athletes, but you are certainly exerting some physical ability and obviously skill, which Marco talked about.
Does it require more skill than athleticism? No question. I mean, there is an element of athleticism to it. In making a golf swing, there is athleticism there. But
well, it's eye-hand coordination. Now, it's not like baseball because you're not facing a moving object. The object's just sitting there on a tee or on the ground. But still, there has to be some physical exertion. You have to have everything compact and in motion together. You can't have the arms going out before the hips, everything has to move and entwine. But then again,
there's an element of flexibility. There's an element. I mean, there is some. Again, yes, it's more skill than athleticism, but there is an element of athleticism. To me, there's no doubt that golf is a sport.
I think there's no doubt it's a sport. I would agree with you wholeheartedly. It's not comparable in the physical the physical ability that we see with tennis players, for goodness sakes, track stars. Mostly every sport that you can think of, other than maybe bowling, but bowling's still a sport. But in golf, you still have to have the eye-hand coordination. You have to have a lot of skills to be a good golfer. I mean, to read the putts, that's intellectual. That's more than the physicality of it. That's obviously the mind. But you're competing. You're competing against all the other individuals. There's nobody helping you out, even though obviously there's teams competing in other sports. That's certainly part of the competition, but so is the individual competition. And the thing, I think it's absolutely a sport.
There is a reason that some guys hit the ball farther than others. I mean, it's not a coincidence that a guy like Dustin Johnson or a guy like Brooks Koepka hits the ball really far. That's just not like, he just gets lucky. I mean, look at them. Look at their physiques. I mean, they're strong. They're built. They've got flexibility. Like there is an athleticism there that helps them hit the ball farther, which helps them be better at the game of golf.
Also, they have the whole bag of shots. So you have to have that ability to be able to shape a shot, to hit a draw, to hit a fade, to hit it high, to hit it low. You're still swinging. You're swinging a golf club in this case as opposed to a baseball. Again, the big difference being it's stationary. It's not moving like a baseball is. So there are certainly some huge differences. I wouldn't say that all golfers as a whole, like all golfers on the PGA Tour, are just a bunch of better athletes than NBA players. Come on, that's silly. But there are in the sport some guys that are really good athletes, really, really good athletes that have played a number of different sports. So it's not just like we were talking about earlier. Back in time when you didn't have the nutrition, you didn't have the work regimen, and you weren't, for the most part, in great shape, you still could play the game. But now you see that a lot of the golfers are going the opposite way, and Tiger was the main reason why, to be fit. Look at Brooks Koepka. Brooks Koepka is an athlete. That guy has played a lot of different sports, not at the professional level, but he's an athlete. And there's a number of those guys. Then again, there's guys out there that weigh alphabet. I mean, that guy's got to go 3 bills or more, and yet he's still extremely good at what he does. Then again, there are offensive linemen in the NFL, right? Many of them, they're not fit. I mean, they're fit enough, but they're not in great shape as far as they have guts hanging over, but they're still very good at what they do. They're still athletes. You don't have to look like Adonis to be an athlete, but you have to do something athletic. And the point that he was making was that you're not doing anything athletic. And I would argue that point. It's not extremely athletic. I understand that. It's not comparable to some of these other sports, but that to me is absolutely a sport. It's competition, it's skill, and it's some form of athleticism.
The golf swing is an athletic endeavor. The only thing is there's no running and jumping. Like if you think of sports as running and jumping, well, no, that golf is not.
No.
But the golf swing there is very much an athletic part of the golf swing. It's because it's hard. It's hard as hell. I mean, it's extremely hard to have a swing and repeat it the way they do. That is not a skill. There is an athleticism to that.
There's a little bit of running when you get Sergio Garcia hits the shot. That one shot, he had to run up over the hill, kind of leap up in the air. And I brought up Sergio Garcia because I just saw pictures of him, photos from him at the driving range over at TPC Southwind today. But or you have to run to the bathroom. Got to run over there, go as fast as you can to get over to one of those Cuarto de Baños and then get back onto the course. If you'd like to chime in right now, again, I'm not sure. Don's probably held up with some interviews that he's doing at TPC Southwind. If you want to call in on the First Bank phone lines, 360-8255, 901-360-8255. Got about 5 minutes before we'll take the break. You can also hit us up via text, First Bank text line 67129, or message us at Sports56WHBQ on Facebook, Periscope, Twitch, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. Gar has dialed in. Hey, Gar, how are you?
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Good,
Well,
man. What's up?
Thank you.
All right, look, I've played the game my whole life. It's hard as hell. I think the game's dying in terms of the difficulty factor and the time factor, okay? But let's talk about the athleticism issue. Wonder why, and maybe you guys can comment on this, wonder why, you know how Frisbee golf has taken off?
Mm-hmm.
Wonder why golf hasn't taken off where you hit a shot and run to your ball.
There is some speed golf out there, and it's not a big deal at all. But there is some speed golf that combines how quickly you play and the number of strokes.
I can tell you, J.B. Holmes wouldn't be involved in that.
He wouldn't be involved. But don't you guys, no kidding, to get more millennials involved, like Marco, he obviously doesn't understand the game because he'd find out how hard it is if you played it. But don't you guys think that it would become more popular with young people? The expense is the other problem.
Yeah.
But if you could make it more athletic, that's my point.
Yeah, I think so because the issues like with the younger generation, there's an expense, but there's also just the time factor. I mean, the fact that basically, you're going to put in, for the time you leave to go to the course and the time you're looking at 5.5 hours to go play a round of golf. And I don't know that the younger generation wants to put that much time into anything.
But yes, exactly. It's across the board. We talked about this yesterday with attendance down in college football games, and we had who was it? Pat Fitzgerald from Northwestern come out with that video clip about the phones and the difference in the millennials now and all that. So I think it's a combination of all of that. But I don't know. Do you know for sure that the numbers are down with younger people playing the game?
Oh, yeah. Well, all you got to do is look at the number of the courses that are closing. I mean, and it's not, let's face it, how old are you when you say to hell with playing the game? I mean, I know people are living longer, okay? But you get my point. The young people are the future of the country, and I just don't think they're playing. Now, got another thought for you. As far as the athletic part of it, ask Woods how his body is in terms of it being athletic or not.
Mm-hmm. If it's something that affects you like it has affected his back, you're putting strain on the back, you're doing something athletic.
Yeah, absolutely. Or ask Couples how he feels these days.
Yeah,
gotcha. Thank you, Gar. Appreciate it.
All right.
Got a tweet from the Smug Memphian. Says Justin Thomas is not a specimen, but he hits it super long too. It's technique, not strength. Now, again, it's not all strength. Their flexibility is the main thing, but torque,
flexibility.
You have to be able to get the proper shoulder turn and all that. Yes, you don't have to be a physical specimen to hit it a long way. We know that, but it also is not it's not a coincidence that Dustin Johnson and Brooks Koepka and these guys do hit it a long way. Yeah. There is something to be strong as well. There's a lot of little baseball players that can hit some home runs. But there's a reason the bigger ones hit a bunch of home runs, too.
Right. Millie is dialed in on the First Bank phone lines. Hi, Millie.
Hi. I think it's a combination of both. My husband's 64, plays around Memphis, and if he just sat on the couch and didn't stay active, he would not be able to play his game. And he started when he was 25. So I think it's both, but it's a huge mind game from watching him. You compete with yourself, and you have to know your own skill level on each club, with wind conditions, with course condition. I mean, it's a lot more involved than people think. You just don't hitting it far does not win the game.
Right.
Correct.
Right. It's a mental. There's no question. It is a mental challenge. What's between the ears often is the difference between winning a tournament and not winning a tournament for these greats, and we know that. Some of them are really good athletes and some are not. But overall, the question was that we had from a caller earlier, is it a sport? And I would argue it is.
Oh, yes. I think it is. But I do agree with you from the millennial standpoint. The time factor cost is quite a bit, but more the time factor, I think, with younger families, for a father or a mother to be able to go and spend 4 hours on a course, that's a lot of their time. I do think that's hurting, and the course closing for the cheaper courses.
Yeah.
So I do think that's hurting. But anyway, we love the sport. I'm not good, but I have a hole in one.
Oh,
Nice.
That's good.
That's one more than I have.
He's a driver.
Hey, it doesn't matter what club you hit it with. If it goes in,
No,
it all
it
counts the same.
Everybody go out because we're really glad they're here.
Absolutely. Thanks, Millie.
Bye.
There's no doubt. Like the biggest part of golf is mental. Like I don't, because it's all about being able to clear your head and for every single shot and not think about any other stuff and other shots and all that stuff. But yeah, it's a hard game.
I'll give you the
thing
example.
too, as far as the courses go, you got to remember, like when Tiger came onto the scene in the late '90s, early 2000s, golf boomed at a level it had never even. Like it just had never. He opened the game up to so many different people. So golf went to a level that just wasn't sustainable, quite frankly. So there was a lot of courses that opened and everything else because there was so many more players. There was always going to be a time it had to regress. It could not hold that level of the Tiger Woods phenomenon. Now it has come back down. We talked about that after he won the Masters this year, there was again like golf was on the upswing for the first time in like I can't remember how many years, but it's just again.
But you know what? There's no Tiger coming around the corner.
That amount of time, it's hard. I mean, asking people to just say, "Yeah, I've got 5 hours to go do something." A lot of people just aren't going to do that.
Right, but there's not another Tiger, we don't think anyway, coming around the corner to change the whole game of golf. By the way, I would make more of the comparison if people say, well, it's not a sport, and the mindset you have to have. Chess is a game. It's a game because there is no physical, you're moving a chess piece, but it is a mental game. Golf is a combination. It's a mental game, and it's still physical. It's not the NBA. It's not playing tennis, but it's still physical. And therefore, the difference between a game and a sport, in my opinion, golf is definitely a sport. Let me get one more caller in. Bob is next. Hi, Bob.
Yeah, how you doing? Earlier, they kept saying there was 47 of the top 50 golfers, and like a couple days ago they said 46. And I guess now the golfer won the
Shane Lowry.
British Open. Yeah. So what other golfer dropped out?
Well, they originally had 47, and then Bernd Wiesberger joined Tiger Woods, and then Ricky Fowler, and who was the other one? Francesco Molinari. And now you have Shane Lowry. So you still have 45 of the top 50.
Okay.
All right.
So wait, say again, which other golfers dropped out?
Bernd Wiesberger was originally in the field, and he dropped out. The other three never committed, Tiger, Molinari, and Fowler. And then today, Shane Lowry withdrew officially, which I knew was coming around the corner after winning the Open. So you have 45 of the top 50.
I thought you said Rory. That's what I was wondering.
No, not Rory. Not Rory.
Okay.
All right.
So, but it's going to be in threesomes?
Yes. Off both tees, all 4 days.
Starting at what, 11 o'clock?
11 o'clock Thursday, Friday, 10 o'clock Saturday, Sunday.
Okay.
Thank you, Bob. Appreciate that.
Unless there's some weather issues that make them have to move that or move them up or anything like that.
Let me get Jeff in real quick. Jeff, how are you?
Hey, this is Jeff.
Hey.
I want to talk about a couple of things. Congratulations on your new adventure.
Thank you.
And the other thing I'd like to ask about, golf is definitely a sport. I played sports in college, and golf is just as tough, but it's an individual sport rather than a team sport. And the reason golf is losing out, like many sports, tennis, the same thing. People, the younger generation, could care less about getting involved in something that's physical. They'd rather go home and play on their iPad and do something that's quick and relevant immediately rather than spending 3 or 4 or 5 hours out and taking that chance.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate it.
Again, too, and somebody texted in about the cost of equipment. I mean, that's the thing. Like, to go buy a set of golf clubs, like especially if you want like new golf clubs, you're going to be in for close to $2,000, like right up front.
But it's never,
and it costs like $50 on a weekend to play around at a nice course.
Yeah, but it's never been cheap for people that don't have a lot of money. I mean, I never played the game when I was young because I didn't have any money.
I know. I haven't
didn't
played
have
as much.
golf clubs. I never played. I picked up the club for the first time when I was 25 years old. We have to take a break. Dottie Pepper, speaking of golf, 17 LPGA tournaments she won, 2 majors, and now does a terrific job as one of these CBS golf analysts on course for this week's WGC FedEx St. Jude Invitational. She's next as we continue on Middays right here on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
Get happy with Johnny Radio's Happy Hour. Weekday afternoons from 1 till 3 on Sports 56 and 87.7 FM.
These seats are amazing. Shoot it!
We deliver tickets, team merchandise, and everything you need to get ready for the game. But what you really get when FedEx knocks on your door is so much more.
FedEx Delivery.
Game day spirit. What we deliver by delivering.
DeSoto Auto Sales specializes in late model cars with low mileage. They have the highest standards in the car industry. All of their cars are test-driven, checked out from head to toe. Unlimited inventory, every make and model. And if it's not on the lot, they'll find it for you. Walk in the door of DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Within 45 minutes, you can test your car, get credit approval, and finish paperwork within an hour. No shortcuts at DeSoto Auto Sales. Kind, courteous employees, a down-home environment. DeSoto Auto Sales cares about your time. Lowest prices in a 350-mile radius. We're living in a world today where time does matter. Visit them online. Check out their referrals. DeSotoAutosales.com. Very proud to serve DeSoto County and other surrounding areas. DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Call 662-890-7184. 662-890-7184. Come on down to DeSoto Auto Sales. AC trouble? Make your first call your last call. Call Air Doctors of Memphis, 901-598-HVAC. Owner Matt Davis is a third-generation full-service air conditioning specialist. Air Doctors of Memphis services all major brands, and labor and parts are guaranteed 100%. Their yearly AC checkup is only $60, and 24-hour emergency service is billed at normal rates. Your comfort is their highest priority. Contact airdoctorsofmemphis.com or call 901-598-HVAC.
Looking good and feeling good? You've been to Rooster's Men's Grooming, the all-American classic barbershop. Whether boy or man, sportster or professional, when service matters, Rooster's is the choice for all gentlemen. Rooster's Men's Grooming offers a full-service shave, precision haircuts, and more, all with top-of-the-line products in a truly professional atmosphere. They even remember your name and offer you a beer. When looking good and feeling good matters, relax and unwind at Rooster's Men's Grooming, Paragon Place, 6300 Poplar.
WGC FedEx St. Jude Invitational is going down this week with the deepest field Memphis has ever seen. So to set it off right, we teamed up with a Memphis tradition like no other. East End Bar and Grill, Miller Coors, and of course, we are inviting all the wonderful people of the Mid-South to come out this Thursday, July 25th from 4:30 to 6 p.m. to East End Bar and Grill to win tickets to the WGC FedEx St. Jude Invitational, plus free swag from Miller Coors and more. And always keep it locked to Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7 FM.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays presented by FedEx.
Here once again,
our great Gaston and Eli Savoy.
We welcome you back to Sports 56 Middays, final half hour for us today here on the program. Johnny Radio's Happy Hour will follow starting at 1 o'clock. And again, tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday, we will be on location at TPC Southwind. We'll be in the hub, which is now closer to 18 T-Box. But we will be there broadcasting from 10 until 6, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Looking forward to it as we do each and every year. But now, of course, even more special with the WGC FedEx St. Jude Invitational. And we are very pleased to be joined right now by a 17-time winner on the LPGA Tour, including 2 major victories, and now does an outstanding job as part of the CBS Golf crew as a CBS Golf analyst on course. It's Dottie Pepper. She joins us now on Sports 56 Middays. Hey, Dottie.
Hey, guys. How are you?
Doing great. Thanks for joining us. I don't know if, now you've had the experience of the Memphis Heat in years past, but
Yes.
we cannot believe what's happening right now. So if the tournament was last week, you guys would have been dying out there. But it is beautiful for Memphis in July, and they expect it to be that way the rest of the week. So I'm sure that's good news for you, right?
I'm very happy, and I share your pain because, A, I've been to Memphis for 3 years prior to this for the CBS telecast, but I also live in upstate New York in Saratoga Springs.
Oh, wow.
And we canceled horse racing at the oldest racetrack in the country on Saturday because the heat index was not even safe for anybody.
No.
Wow.
And usually it's pretty nice up there at this time, or is it not? Is it as hot as it?
No, it's beautiful. It's normally beautiful. So the front came through last night, and we're now in the mid 70s. So we're I guess relative to you, we're right where we should be.
Nice.
So what are your thoughts on this golf course here, TPC Southwind, which has been a really tough test since they redid it years back, and some of these guys have been here maybe once or twice, others haven't been here at all. What do you expect? How it holds up with the best in the world all here?
I think it's going to, especially with the forecast. I think if anything, it'll play more difficult than it has in the past because there is no rain in the forecast, and the type of greens that they have there, they can get them very firm. They can get the golf course bouncy without a whole lot of need to even put down water. So I would anticipate that you're going to see a pretty darn tough test over this weekend. And we know what can happen with the finish there. You've got huge chance for a low score at 16, and then you better hit 4 quality golf shots at 17 and 18 to get the job done.
It's interesting because every year that we had the FedEx St. Jude Classic, you'd always hear players who weren't coming to Memphis say, oh, it's a great city, love the people, love the course, it's a tough course, but the schedule, we got the major coming up, we can't plan it. Now there's really, even though you're off the Open Championship, this is a World Golf Championship event, so there's not too many excuses now, and to see this field is phenomenal for the Memphis and Mid-South golf fans, Dottie. To be able to see as many great players finally all together in this tournament is fantastic.
Well, I can only share a story from my own experience last year, being over at Memphis Country Club early in the week, and we had played through a group, and everyone said, oh, your CBS hat is so cool to have everybody here, but next year's going to be even better. And I said, well, why do you say that? And they said, because it's always been we never got the best players. We always had a good field, but there was focus on the U.S. Open and the lead up to the U.S. Open. But they said even though it's fewer players, 90 fewer players nearly, we're going to get the best players. And that's exactly what happened. So I liked their perspective. They were looking for that next level up of players to come to Memphis, and now you got it.
We obviously Dustin Johnson winning last year. Dustin Johnson has had a ton of success here, winning it a couple of different times. Would you put him as the favorite going into the week?
I think he's on a very short list of players that are playing great. Yes. I also think in some ways you have 2 defending champions because Justin Thomas won the event last year at Akron at Firestone, and now you have the guy who won in Memphis last year as well. And you've got Koepka. It's a tremendous field. It's a World Golf Championships field. And I do like what they also do by spreading some of the field among the best players in the world. So you're going to get the Asian Rim. You're going to get the best in Australia. You're going to get the best players in the world. Oh, and don't forget the Open champion is coming, which is very cool.
Oh, he just bailed out.
What?
He did.
Yeah, he
just
sailed on us.
Yes, about to. But Dottie, I predicted that because let's see, you got an Irishman who wins the Open Championship with all his family and friends. The Guinness is flowing. I didn't think he was going to make it, and yeah, he bailed out.
I thought there was a shot because he won the event before. Oh, I was looking at the stuff that CBS put out yesterday. I'm like, oh, this is great. We've got however many of. Oh man.
Yeah, but he's
knock
45
on wood. Of the top 50.
Right. Knock on wood. No more. 45 of the top 50. Many of them are already there. Let me ask you this, because this is great for fans because there is no cut. So their favorite player is playing all 4 rounds, right? Sometimes
That's exactly right.
Your favorite player could be out on Friday. Do you, as a competitor, as somebody who has been a great player on the LPGA Tour for all those years you played? Now it's money in the bank, right? It's automatic money, but does it lack a little of the competitiveness because there is no cut? Does that make any sense?
I think it's okay. Yeah, but I think it's okay a few times a year.
Okay.
I'm okay with it. I mean, when I played on the LPGA Tour, we had the World Championship, and it was the top 20, no cut.
I didn't know you had an event that had the no cut. I did not.
Yeah, there was, and it's okay. I don't like it. I don't like the super small field every week, but I like the way this one fits in the schedule, and I like the setup of it, and I really like the fact that it's going to a golf course that's not going to be. I don't see it being a plug fest as far as having a golf course that's so soft that you just play an aerial game. I like the fact that you're going to have to hit some shots and be a little more creative than normal.
Right, exactly.
For you as somebody who played the game at the highest level, are you a little amazed even by, and you now cover it on a weekly basis, do you get amazed by like how good some of these guys are and how far they hit the ball and the things that they do?
I think you have to temper that a little bit because from my perspective now, they can make absolute fools of you in a heartbeat. But I think they've embraced the technology and everybody's kind of maxing out what their personal best is. And that's what you have to kind of sit back and go, yeah, this is a really cool perspective to be looking at golf through. And, I think, too, that people think that they watch golf, especially if they're just weekend television viewers or on whatever platform they're consuming it, that nobody hits bad shots.
Yeah.
Everybody hits bad shots. It's the best that week are the ones that hit the fewest of them and recover the best.
Great point.
And you do see a lot of bad shots. And I think that's something that somehow manages to get lost, and people don't sort of take the understanding that while they're really awesome, they're not perfect.
Yeah, that's a great point, Dottie, because and all it takes for a golfer is a couple of bad holes on a Thursday or Friday, and they're done. Just ask Rory McIlroy last week at the Open Championship. So you have to be on the top of your game all the time. And you're right, the one who makes the less mistakes, who finds fairways and regulation and greens and regulation, all that kind of stuff, all those stats, then they're the ones that usually win. But I did want to ask you this. I did want to ask you this, though, because for somebody like myself who's been covering and watching golf for as many years as I have, and it's a long time, now, so I'll watch a broadcast and I'll hear whoever it is, the analyst, say, well, that's just about an impossible shot. There is no way they're going to get it within 20 feet, and they always do it. They always seem to do it. So I have given up now on believing these great analysts because these players are defying the odds and they're making every shot, and they're so the ingenuity in coming out with the shots that they make is fun to watch. It really is.
I agree, and I think part of that too is equipment knowing that the golf ball is not going to spin like crazy, and it's not with a clean strike. It's not going to go super sideways,
right?
And I think that's something that sort of gets lost in all of this. But I will. So you go back to two great walking announcers, in Roger Maltby, first of all, and he would tell you. Well, when I was first coming up in the business 15 years ago, be careful with Tiger because you're going to say he's got no shot and he's going to make you look like a fool really quickly. And then there was always the classic Bob Rosberg. And 99.9% of the time, Rossi would have called this from a cart and said he's got no shot. And he was right. So the two of them were great people to put up on kind of pedestals of what to do and what not to do when you're calling shots from my position.
Is there a part too with this younger generation of golfers that they're maybe just willing to try shots that normally other guys maybe in the past would not even have been brave enough to try, even with the equipment or whatever, just mentally, like they have a brashness that think, oh, I can do this.
Okay, well, you answered my question. Who did they all look up to, and who was on the poster in their room? Tiger. And he did that. So why can't I do that? That's the mentality.
Is this that the fields now? because it's amazing when you look every week, and obviously you got the big names and they win their fair share. But I mean, we looked just recently at some of these guys from the Nate Lashleys of the world, and we went through a stretch that was like all first time winners on tour.
Great story, by the way.
Yeah,
great story.
Just unbelievable stuff. Is this the deepest the PGA Tour has ever been, and how close is it to? I mean, how far deeper is it than it has been?
I think the quality of play has just continued to increase, and a lot of that's because of the feeder tours, because of college golf, because of the quality of golf at the junior level. I don't know if you guys got a chance to watch any of Preston Summerhays this past weekend.
I did not.
Win the U.S. Junior. The kid's a rock star, and he's huge. He's kind of built like Brooks Koepka. and it's just, there's more and more of these great players in the pipeline, and I think it's all starting at junior golf. Golf is cool, and who made golf cool? It was Tiger again.
Yeah.
But now these kids that didn't really see Tiger because of his hit or miss last decade, they're now looking at Jordan Spieth and Justin Thomas and Rory McIlroy, and those are the guys they've put on their own pedestal, and there's still Tiger out there. So these junior golfers have such an expectation. The bar's been set so high, and if you don't achieve it, somebody's going to pass you. And that's what you're seeing on these feeder systems. So by the time they get to the PGA Tour, either through college or through what's now the Korn Ferry Tour, they're ready to win. And that's what we're seeing.
By the way, is that Summerhays, is that relation to Boyd?
That is Boyd's son.
His son? Oh,
his
my
son
gosh.
And his daughter Grace is playing in the U.S. Girls Junior this week.
Oh, my gosh. Wow.
Craziness, right?
It really is. It's aging me, I can tell you that, Dottie.
So go check him out. There's stuff all over Instagram. Boyd did a bunch of stuff for they call him P, for Preston last week. So you could almost watch as he went through the final match. And now they're all out there with Grace this week at the junior girls. So it's really cool stuff.
One final question before we let you go, and we really appreciate your time and look forward to seeing you here in Memphis. This was a caller that called into the show earlier, and I think it's apropos to bring it up to you. So they bring up the question. Now we're on the side of it's a sport, but a person called up and said, "Well, I love golf, but I don't think it's a sport." So let's leave it for Dottie Pepper to answer that question. One of the most fiery competitors ever on the LPGA Tour. Of course it's a sport, right?
Of course it's a sport. Did they give you a reason why they didn't think so?
They said it's a skill.
They said more skill, not as much athleticism.
My goodness. I would, wow. so that must translate to IndyCar racing and horse racing as well.
I guess
Not
they probably
sport.
yeah, I guess they probably think that way, but
yeah, I say no. There is skill, there's an endurance, there's the physical, the mental. It is all sport.
Eye-hand coordination. There's a lot of things. Now, look.
All of it.
Are you running around like a tennis player? No. Are you a track and field star? No. But there's absolutely some athleticism. There's no. You can't be good without great skill, a great head on your shoulders, but some athleticism. There's no question,
but
right,
also, I mean, the endurance part of it. Look, it's not 5 hours. Federer and Djokovic in the Wimbledon final, but most of these rounds on tour, sadly, are taking 5 hours.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, too, I mean, the bar when I was playing was to always be ready to play 36 any given day. That's at least 10 miles on your feet, if not more.
Mm-hmm.
Sun up to sundown. That's sporting.
By the way, on that, what would you do, because it became a big topic again last week, what would you do about the pace of play issues?
I'd start finding players, period.
Enforce the actual rules that are in the books.
Absolutely. That's exactly why they're there. And Koepka brought up a great point about J.B. Holmes, and he was also right that he's not the only player out there.
Mm-hmm.
They start to prepare to hit their shot when it's then their turn to play. They have a lot of them have no pre-planning about hitting the shot. They're putting the glove on and looking at the yardage book when the next player or the previous player has their balls come to rest.
Right. We were talking about this yesterday. It's absolutely ridiculous. You have to be thinking about, right? You have to be thinking about your shot while the other guy's hit.
But if there's
if
there's no penalty ever handed down, they're not going to change.
Exactly. So, I mean, it was my rule, and I was not the slowest or not the fastest player, but it was my rule with my caddy. I don't ever want to see you walk backwards to get a yardage. You should always be thinking forward. Those yardages, those heads are marked. And if you've done your job, that speeds things up automatically. You should never have to walk up and then walk back from a sprinkler head.
We'll leave it at that.
Time right away.
You're absolutely right. Boy, it's been a pleasure to have you on, Dottie. We really appreciate it. Continued success. Great work as an analyst.
Thanks, guys.
For CBS Sports. And you know, I'll say hi if you walk by. You won't know who I am, but I'll make sure I do.
Please do. So you're on 18?
I'll be all over the place.
We're broadcasting our show from 18 in the hub there on 18 Fairway.
Yeah, we'll be over there tomorrow at the hub. So if you're there, stop by and say hi.
Well, I get into town on Friday. Maybe I'll see you Friday.
Oh, not till Friday. Okay, gotcha. Thank you, Dottie. We'll look you up.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Enjoyed it. Thanks, guys.
Dottie Pepper. Oh, so that's right, because Saturday and Sunday is CBS coverage, Golf Channel Thursday and Friday. That's right, so that's why she doesn't have to be here earlier in the week.
Mid-South Ag Equipment is the place to go for all your equipment needs. Getting out in the fields, they've got it for you. If you need service on your current equipment, they can take care of that as well. But if you're looking for new or used equipment, they've got plenty for you to choose from. And they've added the Bush Hog zero-turn lawnmowers as well for around the home. They've got the Bush Hog cutters, of course, they've had for the fields, but they've also, of course, the Case IH Farmall series of tractors. Mid-South Ag Equipment now carries the Bush Hog zero-turn lawnmowers as well. You can find them just south of Collierville on Goodman Road. Easier than ever to get to because the new I-269, they're just a half mile west of the Goodman Road exit there. You can actually see it from I-269. The phone number is 662-890-3141. Give them a call. Go by and see them. Mid-South Ag Equipment.
All right, we'll come back. We'll put a wrap on the show. We got some text to read and one final thing. That'll do it for us, but come back for that final segment and then stay tuned for Johnny Radio's Happy Hour, which will come your way starting at 1. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
Start your day with a Peter Edmiston experience with C.J. Hertz, right here on Sports 56 and 87.7 FM.
Driving is freedom. The freedom to keep moving, to control your destiny, and to choose your path. And now, that freedom fits in the palm of your hand. It's called Ford Pass, the only app that gives you roadside assistance, Ford Pass rewards, and now when you buy or lease a new Ford, earn points you can use toward flexible complimentary maintenance that gives you, well, more freedom. Ford Pass, built to keep you moving, built Ford proud. Visit your participating Ford dealership to find out about getting flexible complimentary maintenance when you buy or lease a new Ford and sign up for rewards.
Roadside assistance is included for certain Ford owners and available to everyone for a per-service fee. Ford reserves the right to change program details without obligations. Visit your participating dealer or FordPassRewards.com for program rules and restrictions. Ford Pass, compatible with select smartphone platforms, is available via a download.
As much as you might want to spend some time enjoying a leisurely meal inside the comfortable confines of Sunrise on Jefferson, sometimes you just don't have the time. That's why you can always call ahead to get the delicious Sunrise food to go. Just call 552-3144 and place your order. Then when you get to Sunrise, you can just run in the side door, pick up your breakfast or lunch, and be back on the road in no time at all. If you can't take the time to eat at Sunrise, you can still get a taste of heaven and take it with you. Everything will be a little bit better if you pick up some Sunrise.
If you're a paint contractor, the Home Depot is here to save you money. You can get the same or better quality paint as you do at paint stores, but you also get one thing paint stores don't have: low prices every day on every gallon of high-quality Behr paint, stains, and primers. Plus, for pros, volume discounts. How much are you paying per gallon? At the Home Depot, you pay less for Behr paint every day, like Behr Pro paint starting at just $15.48 a gallon. The Home Depot. More saving, more doing. U.S. only. See store for details.
Let's say you just bought a house. Bad news is, you're one step closer to becoming your parents, which means you're going to start telling your kids to clean up before the cleaning lady comes. Doesn't make sense, but you're the parent and they're the kids. You're going to start telling them that now, too. Good news is, it's easy to bundle home and auto through Progressive and save on your car insurance. And there's your opening to remind them who pays the bills around here. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Discount not available in all states or situations.
The World Golf Championships FedEx St. Jude Invitational makes its debut at TPC Southwind, July 24th through 28th.
Join me, Justin Thomas, when I defend my title at TPC Southwind. Tickets are on sale at WGCFedEx.com.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays presented by FedEx. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Got that sunshine in my pocket, got that good soul in my feet.
Welcome back here in the Family Leisure Studios. They are continuing the pool clearance sale at Family Leisure. Great deals right now on the pools. So go check them out. 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. Some texts here on golf. Somebody says, sure, golf is a sport. It takes a damn good athlete to swing a club like Charles Barkley. Well, that's the
Charles
whole point.
doesn't do it well.
Yeah, I mean, there are people can be terrible at any sport.
Anybody can swing a club. Anybody can
There's
throw
a bunch
football
of people out there that are really terrible at basketball, baseball, football, anything. Anybody can be terrible at a sport. That doesn't mean if people can like somehow play it, even though be terrible at it, it's not a sport. I don't even know what that. I'm not sure what that means. Somebody else says I do plenty of 12-ounce curls during 18 holes of golf. It takes an athlete to do that for 5 hours. Does. It's very tough. So balance there. You got to find balance. Somebody says team sports will always be more popular with youth because parents want that interaction and sense of community for both them and their kids. As far as casual players, it's simply a time and cost thing. It's not like you see a lot of middle-aged people playing any sports with regularity. Even adult softball has fallen in popularity.
No, there are some that still play a lot of golf. Go over to Galloway and watch how old some of those guys are and gals. But the point is well taken, though.
I think generally in all things, it's there is a time element to everybody's life. It's hard.
Well,
it's hard to find time to do things.
See, my theory in golf is, especially with the real older people that play, this is so sexist, but I think the dudes want to get away from their wives, so they want to spend 8 hours at the golf course. After being with their wives for 40 years, man, it's like, man, I want to stay over at the golf course for like 8 hours. I shouldn't say that. It's probably vice versa, though, too. The women get away, they go out and play golf. Who cares if it's 4 or 5 hours? Well, you're getting away from the family. You're getting away from everything.
You used to be able to go play golf, and you were not going to be bothered. Now, everybody knows you've got your cell phone, so even if you're playing golf, they know they can get a hold of you. Like, you cannot just get away now to go play golf. You're constantly, somebody can call you. Then you got something, there's something that could come up, and they can always get a hold of you.
That is absolutely true. Sleepy Z's Mattresses and Furniture by Michael Zoner. You always save 50 to 80% off retail store prices every single day of the week. They carry only top-name brands in mattresses and furniture, ladies and gentlemen. Certi Comfort, Simmons Beauty Rest mattresses, all different sizes and styles. And how about furniture? Signature designed by Ashley and Benchcraft. If they don't have what you're looking for on the showroom floor, they have a kiosk at the store. Hundreds of items to choose from. Browse through the catalog and pick out what you want, and Michael will get it for you at that same discounted price. And then make sure to mention my name or Eli's name or Sports56 at checkout. Get 10% off your entire purchase. A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau. They offer financing, many different plans and options with up to 48 months financing available. Located at 2790 Kirby Whitten Road at the corner of Summer. Call the store at 901-692-6200. When you do, ask for Michael and tell him you heard it here on Sports 56 Middays. Sleepy Z's Mattresses and Furniture by Michael Zoner, where you never wake up on the wrong side of the bed.
One final text, I think everybody could agree with this, is I don't care who wins Sunday. I just want it to be close and not over on Sunday morning. Yeah, I hope we get drama Sunday afternoon and this tournament comes down to the wire. With some of these big names battling it out, that would be absolutely fantastic. Time now for one final thing.
Before Greg and Eli get out of here for the day, they each have one final thing they think you should know to make it through the rest of your day. So here are Greg and Eli with one final thing.
Unfortunately for some athletes, even long careers, they are known for one play, one event, sometimes good, sometimes bad. Mark Sanchez is reportedly retiring from the NFL after 10 seasons. He played with the Jets, Cowboys, Eagles, and Redskins. And he will join ESPN as a college football analyst, not an NFL analyst, but a college football analyst. And what is Mark Sanchez known for? The butt fumble. But a nice little fun fact that Austin told me earlier that I'll add to this. Mark Sanchez is one of only 2 quarterbacks in the history of the NFL who has beaten Peyton Manning and Tom Brady in the postseason, in the playoffs. Mark Sanchez, one of 2, the other being Joe Flacco, who now happens to be a member of the Denver Broncos.
The Arkansas Razorbacks, Chad Morris, getting a nice commitment out of the city of Memphis, as 4-star linebacker Martavius French of Whitehaven has committed to Arkansas. Today is his birthday, and he committed on his birthday via his Twitter account, announcing that he is committed to Arkansas. So a nice pickup as Chad Morris continues to try and rebuild the Arkansas program. He comes into the city of Memphis and picks up a 4-star guy out of Whitehaven, which, of course, is pretty darn good football program here in the city. They're doing all right over there at Whitehaven.
Absolutely.
They're producing some players.
I never got a chance to ask you this because we were so busy, but yesterday they profiled the LSU locker room, the new renovated locker room, $28 million, Eli Savoy. Eric Reed, who played at LSU, is now with the Panthers. His comments, the old LSU locker room is far better than the one we use now with the Carolina Panthers. And he said, "Yep, but you can't pay the players."
Well, and like their whole like state and system supposed to be like broke, but yet they have the money to spend on these things.
$28 million locker room. They got those little beds in case they want to sleep there for some reason or take a little nap in between practicing and film study. Pretty unbelievable. $28 million. And guess what? Everybody who's competing with LSU, all the big-time programs, even the not-so-big-time programs, they have to somehow keep up with the Joneses, find the money to be able to have those types of locker rooms and ways to encourage players to want to come and play for that university. And one way is certainly the facilities. Big thanks to all our great guests today. An eclectic guest list. Justine Gibson from the Pink Palace, Lang Whitaker, an authentic African, Mahar Ahmed Hassan from Grizz Gaming, Daryl Smith, the executive director of the WGC FedEx St. Jude Invitational, and Dottie Pepper from CBS Sports, one of their terrific CBS golf analysts. Stay tuned. Johnny Radio's Happy Hour is coming up next. We will talk to you tomorrow from TPC Southwind. For Austin and Eli, I'm Greg. Have a great day, everybody.
Whether we like it or not, best I can tell, the world's gone to hell, and we're sure gonna miss it a lot.
Put the Case IH legacy of power and efficiency to work in your hay fields and feedlot. Mid-South Ag Equipment has tough Case IH farm-all tractors that can handle a variety of chores fast. With their expert blend of engine and hydraulic power, farm-all tractors can easily tackle loading and material handling chores, as well as mowing and baling. Models range from 65 to 90 horsepower, so you're sure to find one that's perfectly powered for the jobs you do. Stop in or call 662-890-3141 to learn more. That's Mid-South Ag Equipment, your Case IH headquarters.
Gun enthusiasts in the Mid-South know all about guns and ammo at 3615 Summer and 577 Goodman Road, Suite 4 at the corner of Goodman and Elmore in South Haven, because they carry the largest selection of both guns and ammo in the area.